Handling sexual temptation in marriage.
Now, usually we keep things pretty light in this show, but today we're going to address a very serious topic, so make sure you stay until the very end. Now, this topic came up because a close friend of mine actually faced these issues, and I think a lot of men and both women face this issue as well. It's not an issue that a lot of people talk about, it's a little bit taboo, but it's a very common issue, it's a very serious issue when it comes to relationship and marriage. So this friend of mine, he is pretty religious person, but he's always talking to me about temptations, the people around him, and he's a reasonably successful guy. And in his line of work, he meets new women all the time. And those women are usually pretty attractive. So it's like, okay, how do you deal with temptations? How do you face these, like, resist temptations, right? So what's ever interesting is what I notice in my life, the people who are very religious, people who have this, like, moral standard, claim moral standard, they are usually the worst. Oh. They are the ones that cheated. They are the ones that got divorced. They are the ones that it just, like those stories I hear again and again. I think chances are because they suppress sometimes those emotions for so long. And then when it actually happens, like I never, rebellious, I thought they are the perfect couple, and actually it's the man that, you know, slept with multiple people in the church or something like that, right? It's that kind of thing, right? So for me, I think we need to understand human psychology, start with the basics of why we have these temptations and why we face these temptations. And I think first, for men, this is from a man's perspective, I want to hear from your perspective. But men, I think they say they win. Number one scenario is they flirt with women, they talk with women, sometimes not because necessarily they want to have want to sleep with a woman, they just want to know, I still got it. Right? Especially as men get older, they're like, I still got the charm. Remember when I was in my early 20s, I'm the popular guy, and now in my 40s, I still got what it takes, right? That I could get her phone number if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that, but I could do that if I want to. They just want to know that they still got it.
This is no different than women say, oh, when I was young,
yeah,
when I was
so
20
many guys
old,
were chasing me.
Yeah, everybody buy me a drink, right? Yeah, this is
but now they go to a pub, it's like nobody buys them a drink. Like, what's wrong with this, right?
It's the same.
So I think number one, the scenario is they flirt because for validation. For validation.
For fulfillment?
No, I think it's for entertainment.
Entertainment, okay.
Right? So
fulfill the
ego, little bit ego. But the funny thing is, so it's kind of like, okay, I still got it. I still have that status, maybe the charm, the cool guy status. But the truth is, if you actually got it, you don't need to do that. If you actually got it,
you don't need other people to give you validation.
If you're truly secure, you don't need to do that. Like Jennie and I, you know, when we travel so much, like you want to talk about temptations with what I do with my quote-unquote status and fame. If I want temptations, there would not be a lack of temptations. And I'm a human being too, right? I see a beautiful, attractive woman. Oh, wow, all the time. Like but you can see I don't have that vibe. I don't give out that vibe because I don't need to. Let me charm that lady or woman to validate that I am the man. Yeah. If I'm the man, like a lion doesn't need to roar to let you know it's a lion.
I like that. And most of the time, the king of the lion is usually just
very
lie
quiet,
on the ground, watching, just observing, but not doing anything, right?
I don't need to like attack and kill you to know that I'm a lion. I don't need to do that, right? So I think that's number one. Now, second scenario is where they flirt,
for benefit.
For benefit. They want to sleep with that person, right? So in this case, they actually have the fantasy. They want to sleep with that person. They want to have sex with that person. So that is different thing. That's a very different thing. And if you do have that temptation, chances are because you're not satisfied in your relationship, right? Sexually, that you're not sexually active with your partner, that you're just not satisfied, that you're not getting what you need or want from your spouse, and you need to get it from someplace else, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's why it goes back to the 6 human needs. We've talked about this in the previous video. Click on the I button, you watch that, about the 6 basic human needs, and why when you can fulfill those at a high level, then you don't need to look for someone or some place to give you that, if you're truly satisfied. If you're not satisfied, and that's why you're missing a few of these basic human needs that we all need, and you need someone else to fulfill it. We have a couple who
very good friend
for
more than 10 years.
For more than 10 years, just recently got divorced because the man cheated on the wife. The wife is a great wife. The man cheated on the wife with another lady.
With 2 different ladies.
With 2 different ladies, actually, 2 different ladies. And now they got divorced. Now, what's the story?
I think the guy firstly is he got laid off.
He got laid off,
yeah. And then, so, you know, for a guy got laid off, it's very losing, like it has no security at all, so very insecure.
Insecure.
And then actually go to take some lessons to, you know, just for training for another career, and then met this lady from another country. Of course, this lady was saying, oh, like you've been living in Canada for so long, you know the places, you got some nice cars.
The new lady kind of looked up to him.
Yes.
Even though he's not.
And she's young.
She's young, very young. Pretty, yeah. Looked
so,
up to him.
It happens very naturally, right?
Yeah, so suddenly this man got validation, this worth, right? Oh, I guess because in front of my wife, I'm kind of like a loser.
Yeah.
Right? Because actually, because the wife is the one that's making most of the money.
Yes.
And he's the one that's unemployed, got laid off. And now suddenly this young lady looked up to him. Oh, maybe I am somebody. Think about it. Just think about it. The man at home, not getting respect, not getting validation, not getting significance, right? Really feels like a loser. Outside of home, he gets significance, he gets attention, he gets, you know, a younger lady looking up to him. Think about that comparison. Suddenly, like, okay, I don't want to be talking to my wife.
Kind of like an easy math, right?
That's an easy calculation right there, right? So actually, then they got together and they broke up, right?
They broke up after, so the wife finds out. Wife, of course, very, very sad, upset, and then but then they're still trying to get over it, trying to make the marriage work again. Try to travel together, see the counselor together. They did everything.
They did everything.
But second time, this guy just cheated on her with some lady.
Like with a like a close friend, kind of a with a close friend. And stories like they actually kind of travel together, like a couple with a couple other friends, and during the trip, the man kind of slept with the lady in the wife's
right beside the wife's room.
Right? That kind of thing.
It was really, really chaotic.
Yeah, it's not so good.
And then finally, my girlfriend says, you know what, I have to get out of this relationship.
Yeah, it's not
healthy. I cannot take it anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, but goes back to the man. So he just can't help but just keep cheating on his wife.
Yeah, and chances are once he gets bored, he might cheat again.
Yeah.
Chances are, I'm guessing, I don't know, right? And the third scenario is more that, well, woman has that too, but when you are successful, when you have a little bit of fame, right? It's now not just you are actively flirting, you get attention, these are temptations are coming to you. Maybe the line of work that you do, maybe because your certain status.
New environment, meeting some new people.
Yeah, new people, right? And that's why I face the same issue. Like if I want to, I mean, come on, right? But
then the truth is I cannot stop it.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to control him if he wants to.
Yeah. So it's that kind of, so it's how do you handle these temptations? I think for us, when your relationship is healthy, when we communicate, and I always also think about if I do that, right? If I give in to my temptation, I sleep with somebody else, what are the consequences? That, okay, there's a chance that I might lose Jennie. Then if I lose Jennie, well, how would that impact in all areas of my life?
You're gonna lose half of your money.
Oh, that sucks. It fucking sucks. That is one expensive one night stand. Okay, it costs millions of dollars. But logically, that's what it is, right? You think, holy shit, that's very fucking expensive.
Just do it.
You know, that 30 minutes of joy fucking cost me so much money. But really, you're like, okay, you think twice. But kidding aside, but also how it would affect, okay, if she left me, we got a divorce, then I go home.
Gonna deal with all the problems
All
afterwards.
the problems, going by myself, living by myself. Wow, like was that worth that? You would really think about it, right? You're like, no, I don't think so.
Also, I have a suggestion for the people if you are thinking about getting married. You have to really ask yourself what kind of relationship you're looking for, or what are you actually looking for from a marriage. Let's say if you want always to make your love and passion stay on the high point, you want to feel the passion from the other partner, you want to also feel very fresh for your relationship, maybe marriage is not your thing. Because those things will fade out.
Doesn't matter how attractive she is.
Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter
She
she's
can be
like
a top movie star.
top model, it doesn't matter. After 10, 20 years, it's the same.
Exactly.
Right? So I think you got to think of what you're looking for. And I think also people, going back to the first example, how our friend is religious and how faces temptations. I think the way they met each other, it's not exactly right.
Yes.
Like if it's an arranged kind of marriage, if it is a marriage where it's
because you want to get married.
You want to get married because at the time you got married, well, you know, you're kind of single, I'm kind of single.
You want to get married?
Yeah, let's get married.
It.
I think both parties needs to be physically attracted to each other. There has to be that sexual attraction first.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. Then afterwards, you build a relationship, right?
Yes.
You build a foundation. But I think that needs to be that initial physical attraction first.
Exactly.
If it's just arranged marriage, usually it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're talking about. It's not easy. It is something that, I mean, as a human being, I think we all have to face. We all have to deal with it, handle it. You deal with it day by day. But I think don't even give yourself the chance to
play with fire.
To play with fire. I think that's the best word. You may think it doesn't hurt if I flirt a little bit. It doesn't hurt if I kind of get a number. It doesn't hurt if I text back and forth a few times. It doesn't hurt if I have a cup of coffee. That's where it starts, right? From that text.
Also,
Coffee, right?
I want to mention, I don't know how often it is, but I do heard there's open relationship in marriage.
Yeah.
So both parties, they can have their own
They can date other people.
So before you cheat on the other half, ask yourself, would you want to be treated the same way? What if your wife or husband is doing the same thing to you? Would you like to be like that? Would you want to put yourself in that situation? Right?
And maybe you are. And if it is, you are. You both communicated.
Maybe have a talk with her or with him.
And you both are saying, okay, with an open relationship.
Yeah.
You know, power to you. That's perfectly fine. As long as you're happy, that's the most important thing.
Exactly.
But if you say, you know what, I want an open relationship, but she wants a close relationship, it's the communication, right? It all depends on what you want. But usually, temptations are that you look within. There's something. Most of the time, I'm saying 9 out of 10, insecure. Something
and you're craving for significance.
Because I can tell you, like, all these temptations, think about this and that. Like, before you got married with me, same thing, right? I had these like short-term relationship, like very short time, one night.
Or you just want to test your charm, right?
Like one night stand, I had that too. But I can tell you, you had that afterwards. Really, if you've been through that, you're like, it doesn't.
It's actually harder to find somebody you could trust and you could live with.
Like, that's
one night stand is easy.
Yeah, just
right?
Right. It doesn't fulfill me at a deep level as a human being. It's like, right? What's the big deal? So that's what I'm talking about. So if you're a little bit more mature mentally, you would know. Yeah, you guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Sometimes you had sex with that person. It's like, oh, it's so good. I want to have. Oh, she's so sexy. I'll have sex. Like, like all the satisfaction. That's it. Like, the next day you don't even think about it. That's really it. And then, guess what? You try to find the next person. You get next high again. It's like drug.
Yes.
But you know that it's not the answer. You know that's not the answer. And you find another person, you try that again, it still doesn't work. It's like buying a car, right? We talk about, okay, you know what? If I buy that car, drive that Ferrari, drive that Lamborghini, that would make me the man. You get that car, a month later, you get bored. You get the next car, you get bored. You get the next car, you get that bored. And then you find out it has nothing to do with the car, it has to do with you. It's to do with you. So that's how you handle temptations in marriage. It's deep. It's very, very deep. Comment below, let us know your story. It's a very serious topic. It's not a topic a lot of people talk about. It's a sensitive topic. But it's a real issue. It's truly people around us. It's a very, very serious
very
issue.
Common.
And if you're always facing temptations, going back to the first case of my friend, if you always face temptations, I can tell you his productivity is not the best.
Of course.
Because you're distracted. You're thinking about these things. And you're thinking about,
should I do? Should I not
should
do?
I not do?
Maybe just try, maybe don't try.
Or what if I hurt my family? What about my wife? All this, how can you be focused? How can you be like this?
Exactly.
You cannot even manage your fucking emotions, right? Exactly. You cannot do that. You gotta, as a man, you gotta be strong enough to be able to manage your emotions. Then you can manage everything else. I think people see that. And that's why I think people, when they see a man or woman, let's say a man who could do that, this man gets respect from other men. Because other men can see, wow, that is not easy. How does he do it? He's so mentally focused and strong. That itself makes you a leader. Just that. There's nothing to do with the status. There's nothing to do with how much money you have. It's this. Then they respect that. Give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Dan Lok. Check that out. We upload a post. If you want to get that daily motivation, that daily inspiration, or sometimes behind the scenes of how we do our filming, how we do some things that we do, we upload new posts and new videos every day. So follow me on Instagram at Dan Lok and check out all these other videos. Make sure you check out the 6 basic human needs video from the other episode, because we go much deeper about the 6 basic human needs. So check those out. Until next time, remember, behind every successful man with a lot of temptations, there is a
smarter woman
that could cost you a lot of money.